Hello and welcome to the news session. We need to discuss two news from the Hindu newspaper. So these are related to bio-based chemicals and enzymes. Why this is important? Because it comes under General Studies paper 3rd under subsection of biotechnology. How we can introduce in our mains perspective. The bio-based chemicals are industrial chemicals produced using biological feedstocks like sugarcane, corn, starch, or biomass residues, often through fermentation or enzymatic processes, and are used in plastics, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals. Enzymes as biological catalysts are used in detergents, food processing, pharmaceuticals, textiles, pulp and paper, and biomanufacturing, reducing energy use and emissions. So, two important keywords, that is fermentation and enzymatic processes. How we can introduce, because these are very important for upcoming prelims examination. So we need to discuss both these concepts, both these processes. What is fermentation process? Fermentation is an anaerobic metabolic process where microorganisms like yeast and bacteria convert carbohydrates like sugars or starch into alcohol or organic acids. Anaerobic metabolic means without oxygen, without presence of oxygen. Enzymatic process. What is enzymatic process? Enzymatic processes involve the use of enzymes, biological catalysts, use of enzymes like biological catalysts to break down complex molecules, starch, protein, cellulose into simpler ones, often to prepare the material for fermentation or to achieve specific modification. Role of enzymes in fermentation. Enzymes are protein based catalysts, and fermentation is rarely possible without them. So, what are the various roles of enzymes in fermentation? First, breaking down substrates. Before fermentation can occur, complex raw materials like grains must be broken down into simpler sugars that microorganisms can consume. Enzymes such as amylase break down starch into fermentable sugars, while cellulose breaks down cellulose and protease breaks down proteins. And second, speeding up processes. Enzymes make fermentation more efficient, allowing brewers and manufacturers to achieve desired alcohol, flavor, or texture profiles faster. And third is industrial replacement of chemistry. Microbial enzymes have almost completely replaced chemical hydrolysis in industries because they are environmentally friendly, cost effective, and provide higher yields. And what are the various types of fermentation processes? So these are the important types of fermentation processes, such as alcoholic fermentation. Under this uses It uses yeast to convert sugar into ethanol and carbon dioxide, for example, wine, beer, bread. And second process is lactic acid fermentation. Under this, it uses bacteria to convert sugar into lactic acid, for example, yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut. And third process is acetic acid fermentation. Under this, an oxidative process requires oxygen. Oxidative process means which requires oxygen to initiate the process, where alcohol is converted into vinegar. For example, apple cider, apple cider vinegar, kombucha. And fourth process is solid state fermentation. Under this, the microorganisms grow on solid substrates with low moisture, for example soybeans to tempeh. And fifth process is submerged fermentation. Microorganisms grow in a liquid nutrient medium commonly used for industrial enzyme production. Key enzymes in industry. Various enzymes which are used in industries, and microbial enzymes are preferred in industry over plant or animal sources due to their stability and ease of production. The first enzyme is amylases. It is break down starch into simple sugars, liquefaction and saccharification. And second enzyme is proteases. Break down proteins into amino acids essential for meat processing, cheese making and brewing. And third enzyme name is lipases. Lipases, we can say, under this break down fats or lipids into glycerol and fatty acids used in detergents and food flavoring. Pectinases act on pectin, crucial for clearing fruit juices. And fifth is cellulases, break down cellulose useful for biomass conversion. And synergistic application, the one pot process. Why we can say one pot process? Because modern biotechnology often combines enzymatic hydrolysis and fermentation simultaneously in one vessel, often called a one pot or simultaneous saccharification and fermentation process. This prevents the end product inhibition, where high sugar concentrations stop the enzyme from working while also saving time and equipment costs. Various benefits under the combined processes of fermentation and enzymatic process. First, enhanced nutrition and digestibility. Fermentation neutralizes anti-nutrients, for example, phytic acid, and increases vitamin or mineral content. Second benefit, improved flavor and texture. Enzymatic breakdown of complex compounds like proteins releases volatile compounds enhancing flavor. And cost and environmental efficiency. Under this, using enzymes instead of harsh chemicals reduces pollution and lowers raw material cost by up to 30%, and it initiates the climate resilient policy which is initiated by the government. Waste reduction. These processes can convert agricultural waste like rapeseed meals or fruit skins into valuable high protein or functional foods. So these are the some benefits related to fermentation and enzymatic processes. India's potential for bio-based chemicals production. So, what are the various potential which India has? The first, India has strong fundamentals for scaling bio-based chemicals and enzymes due to its large agricultural base, expertise in fermentation from pharmaceuticals and vaccines, and a growing manufacturing sector. This expansion could reduce import dependence on petrochemicals, create new markets for agricultural produce, and position India as a competitive supplier of sustainable industrial inputs. Second is India imported approximately $479 million worth of acetic acid in 2023. It is highlighting the potential for reducing import dependence through bio based chemicals. And the Department of Biotechnology's bioethics policy, which was initiated in 2023, under the COP27, and this prioritizes bio-based chemicals and enzymes with companies like Praj Industries, Godrej Industries, and Godavari biorefineries leading in this segment. And next is Jubilant Ingravia, which is a company produces acetyls intermediates, while emerging companies like String Bio use novel microbial strategies for bio-based chemicals, and many other companies which is consolidated with top players like Novozymes India, DuPont, DSM, Advanced Enzyme Technologies, BASF, SE, and Altris Enzymes Private Limited holding over 75% market share. So these are the potential applications which India has. International practices such as the European Union Bioeconomy Strategy and Action Plan supports bio-based chemicals as part of circular bioeconomy goals, linking industrial transformation to climate goals and sustainable growth. And second, the United States Drug Administration Bio-Preferred Program mandates federal procurement preference for certified bio-based products, creating early markets for producers. In China, prioritizes high-value bio-based chemicals and enzyme technologies in its bioeconomy development plans, while Japan integrates bio-based chemical research with manufacturing readiness through METI or narrow funded projects. And challenges behind the potential of bio-based chemicals. A key risk in developing the bio-based chemical sector include the comparative cost disadvantage of bio-based products relative to petrochemical alternatives, availability of reliable feedstocks, and supporting infrastructure and market adoption challenges. So these are challenges persist behind the bio-based chemicals production. You can conclude under the scaling shared biomanufacturing infrastructure like biofoundries, pilot plants, and demonstration facilities under Bio-E3 policy can reduce capital risk for firms. Clear standards, certification, and procurement policies can help build investor confidence. So this is the news related to bio-based chemicals and which is important for both general studies paper 3 and governance as well as the preliminary examination. The second news related to a common framework to build trust in AI, that is artificial intelligence in Asia. You can introduce this as artificial intelligence offers potential benefits in public health, education, and productivity. But its uneven development in Asia Pacific highlights the need for trust in AI systems among users, developers, regulators, and society. This news creating the development and faces challenges in various parts of the world, not even in India. So various challenges persist in AI ecosystems. That is, first challenge is AI ecosystems face challenges due to their transnational nature, including global data flows, hardware interdependence, and lack of common cybersecurity practices, leading to limited influence for developing countries in South and Southeast Asia.